PR Connections Radio presents.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Business of Giving podcast. Happy 4th of July, by the way, for those of you in the United States who are celebrating our country's independence. My name is Guy Dawson. I'm the Executive Director of the Cause Marketing Chamber of Commerce, and we are an organization that brings businesses and nonprofit organizations together to create synergistic relationships that benefit the community. And the Business of Giving podcast was created to help us do just that, to showcase people in the for-profit and nonprofit worlds who are making contributions to society and their communities. And I have a woman here who certainly fits the bill of making a great deal of contribution to both communities, the business community as well as the nonprofit community. I'd like to introduce you to Lachey Johnson. She is with Heart and Soul Hospitality, is the nonprofit organization that she's a part of. And she's also a realtor and businesswoman. Welcome, Lachey, to the Business of Giving podcast.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, it's an honor to be here. And I just thank you for this beautiful opportunity.
Lachey and I go way back to the business networking community. And it's just interesting, Lachey, you know people for a long time.
Yes.
And I know you've been in hospitality for as long as I've known you. And so I identified with that piece we did through business, but then I didn't really realize. And at that time, when I first met you, I wasn't involved in the Cause Marketing Chamber of Commerce. I was just a PR and marketing guy. Yes. And it's just interesting to see how relationships evolve over time. When you're in the business world. And we both have this heart for giving that we're going to talk about today. And again, it's so great to, maintain friendships. I mean, it's so important, right, in the business world and the nonprofit world.
Yes, because when you think about Vegas and people think about Vegas and itself and entire, we think that Vegas is just like so large, it's huge, it's like the entertainment capital of the world. But when you live here and you're doing business with other people doing business, it's really small. It's really small. And there's a lot of nonprofits out there as well, of course, businesses. But when you talk about hospitality, it's like, what is hospitality? Vegas is about hospitality. It's about servicing. It's about making people have like a memorable experience when they come to Vegas. And when I was working in the casino industry, I started in 2008. I just wanted to do more. I felt like it was more in me that I can give back to the community, not just working for various casinos. I wanted to train individuals that were looking to get into the hospitality industry. How do I even get a job in the casino industry? Because back then we were talking housekeeping, we were talking valets. I mean, back in 2008, 2010, valet attendants were making $120,000. You would never think about it. And then with me being the director of several casinos, my porters were making 80 to 100 grand. And it's like when you tell people these numbers, they're like, no way. Yes. And I'm an individual that the more I learned, the more I wanted to give. I wanted to train people. I didn't believe in, well, this is what I know how to do. I'm just going to hold it all to myself. I thought, start cloning little Lacheys all around the community. And that's what because I couldn't be everywhere. Even though I worked for 2 casinos at one time, I still couldn't be everywhere. So it was like, go and represent me. You know your stuff. Do what I trained you to do. So it was great.
I mean, living in Las Vegas, Lachey, our lives revolve around hospitality. Yes. I mean, the economy of our city, although there's other things, of course, that we do out here in Las Vegas, but our city is known for hospitality. We are known for our casinos, our restaurants, all aspects of catering to the community through entertainment. I mean, this is what we're all about. And so you have vast experience in the hospitality field. Tell me more about your love of the nonprofits. Is this something that you've been doing since you were a young person? It seems like a lot of people who end up being in the cause oriented sector, they tend to have a background in that growing up. Maybe are you that type of person?
I am that type of person, born and raised in Los Angeles, California, grew up in the church, and my grandmother was such a giver. I remember waking up literally 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, taking the bus, going to Skid Road and serving sandwiches during Easter time. You know how you get the strawberries in the little green carton? We would fill them up with candy and Easter eggs, and we would go pass it out to like the homeless area. And make sure children had Easter baskets and something to eat, not just during the holiday time. We did it all the time. And I used to think that, why am I getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, to go feed the homeless? Or even this was like when I was like 12, 13. And then in my 20s, I'm still going to different missions and I'm feeding the homeless or different types of charity organizations or domestic violence or sex trafficking organization. My family was always involved and I never thought about doing anything other than that. So I would say I've been in the servicing industry since about 8 or 9 years old and never thought closer to my 60s, I would still be doing it. So literally over 50 years. Oh my God, am I dating myself? I am.
I know the feeling though, Lachey, your family, your parents, or people around you, they get you involved in things and they're really planting seeds. Because I'm from LA. I grew up in Long Beach, but I was born in LA, went to church growing up, learned a lot about service through my experience being in church. And I had my father, very similar to you, giving out blankets on Skid Row down on 6th Street. Yes. I was doing that as a young person. So yeah, it just seems like some people plant seeds in our minds at young ages and you just don't really think much about it, right? You don't think that this might be something that I'll pursue when I'm 50, because I'm right there with you, Lachey. I've been on the planet a while.
Well, no, you don't think about it because it's embedded in you. And it's not something you think about, oh, well, I'm going to go serve the community. You just get up and you do it. And for me, there was not another organization out there doing what it is that I wanted to do. But I want to share something with you. I was working at Texas Station back in 08, 2010. And I believe that's where we met at the largest mixer with Dave. And I put a form together. So a form, something similar to like a quorum of people in the community. It was from Ricky Barlow to Lawrence Weekly, Loris Green, Jerry Merritt. It was like the community leaders. And I pulled them all together. Reba Labette, American Family Insurance. So about 30 people in the room over at the Urban Chamber. And I said, I want to teach hospitality. But when I say hospitality, I want to teach diversity, problem solving, effective communication. These are the things that you're going to need to know for the tools to be able to be in a servicing industry. And I said, what do our community need? So it wasn't so much what I wanted to do. I wanted to put it together, but I need the community involvement to say, what can you do to train our community, Shay? We know you know this over here. We need this over here. How can we make a marriage per se? So the courses came from the community. And then I just implemented a curriculum around it. And then I said, a lot of people that are, if you will, you're going to a place to get help for your utilities, to help pay your rent. And they say, well, you may need to take a 4-hour course or an 8-hour course. What could you possibly learn in 4 to 8 hours? That's just like having ice cream. My curriculum is the cake, the ice cream, the sprinkles on top, and then you have a little leftover, a little residual to carry you through. So the program itself, it started out as 10 weeks. And I'm very grateful to Mayor John Lee, Debbie Conway, Dina Titus. They were very instrumental in placing me in different places like UNLV, the TRIO, Help Us Southern Nevada, Vegas PBS. They offered me classrooms and I started out free. I didn't want to receive any money, though everything cost. I was able to get sponsors from those various individuals that I just mentioned to be able to run the curriculum. I wanted the community to come free. So if money was not an object, would you be willing to get trained in the hospitality industry? That's the bottom line.
Yeah, really interesting. And then when did you actually turn it into this nonprofit organization, Heart and Soul Hospitality?
2012, but I started with the vision with Lois Green in 2010. So about time you do, your articles of resolution, get your board together, figure out what the curriculum was going to be. It took 2 years. So I've been in business on paper since 2012, and it's been great. I had a little hiccup in 2017, so I had to stop after the October 1 shooting here in Las Vegas. But now we're up and we're ready, and I have a new partnership, and we have about 18 scholarships to offer.
And so you were talking about how you developed this program. Did you have certain people in mind? I know generally when people get nonprofit organizations started, they have a group of people. I know with us, with the Chamber of Commerce, we had a target audience, right?
Yes.
And so with you, who was your target audience when you decided that you wanted to put this together?
Those that needed a second chance, not a handout, because you can go to various other organizations and get a handout. I wanted to give you a hand up. I wanted you to feel as though you can apply for a job and you had just as much experience as the next person, irregardless of your background. If you were incarcerated, you served your time. Now it's time for you to work, because a lot of people don't know that hotels will hire you depending on if you were incarcerated before. Or maybe you were a nurse and you're just tired of that industry, and now you want to get into the hospitality industry. So it's anybody that wanted to change their career or needed a second chance. And that's women or men, or those that are 18 or between that 18 to 25 year gap. You don't really have a resume. This is where you can take at least 10 of my classes for free. And now you're building your resume, as well as you're getting work experience. A lot of my students worked at the new T-Mobile, opened up the Park MGM, the Cosmopolitan, Planet Hollywood. So it's not as though you're working local concerts. You're working headliners from Britney Spears to George Strait. He was one of my favorite. George Strait concert, Ricky Martin, Bruno Mars. That's an opportunity that will take you a long way, no matter whether you do it here in Vegas or across the nation.
Right. Again, our economy really revolves a lot around hospitality, but like you mentioned, all over the country, there are lots of opportunities to be a part of the hospitality industry, service. And so, yes, I mean, we just have so many opportunities to be a part of that in this particular town, but it's great that you're teaching people skills that they can take elsewhere in case they're not going to live in Vegas their whole lives.
Yes, I had the opportunity of working Essence Festival. That was huge. And then Restaurant Depot, that was in Chicago. So I worked Essence Festival in New Orleans. I had an opportunity to work the Restaurant Expo, which was in Chicago. So I just found those students that were able to travel, able to get maybe a passport or what have you, because I also talk about diversity as well. and teach you about getting a passport and getting a global passport. I teach them the difference. So when you walk away from my classroom, even if you don't get in the industry, you meet somebody, a visitor that's coming into town, you should be knowledgeable enough to tell them where to go, what's happening. The Spear is coming. Formula One is coming. You walk away with a lot more tools than the average person would think you would.
So a person gets started in one of your courses, Lashay, and they're at a certain place, not necessarily knowing what it's going to be like, but they're just giving it a try to see if they are interested in being a part of hospitality. What is it like to watch the evolution of them as they go through the courses and they really experience what the mission is of Heart and Soul Hospitality?
Gosh, you're going to make me cry. Sometimes, at the end, I'm so emotional because I have just seen them grow so much from, I'm not putting on this suit. I have one student that I would say, I need you to wear a suit. And he would say, Miss Johnson, Holmes. I said, don't call me Holmes. Miss Johnson, the suit is too tight. I said, well, this is what they're wearing right now. This is skinny legs, with the suit. And the day he put on the suit and came in the class, he still had the price tags on it. He was so excited. It just lifted him up, did not graduate. And I was able to help him further his education and get his GED after literally doing 15 years. And to walk inside the chamber and to receive several certifications from the mayor, and you have on a cap and gown, the experience is just overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I've had several that, went in and out, maybe have to take my class 4 or 5 times, but they did finish. So the thing is, now I have a new session coming July the 8th through August the 12th. If you miss one class, you don't graduate. I mean, I'm taking the time to bring you all the education and experience that I have so that you can be successful in the industry. And if you miss, you miss. You'll have to roll to the next class, and then you'll graduate with the next session. So normally I would do fall, winter, summer, and fall. So you'll graduate in another session, if you will, another quarter. So the classes are 4 hours every Saturday. It used to be Thursday nights, but now it's Saturday morning. And you do get breaks. I give you breaks because I need a break too. But I always tell people when you first come in, if you've been to California and you've been to Magic Mountain and you've been on the Colazzo, or you've been on that back man, when it flips and it comes back around again, put your seatbelt on, because that's what my class is like. Come in and put your seatbelt on and pay attention, because you in for a hell of a ride.
That leads into my next question, Lashay. What can a person expect to experience as a part of the course that you offer? We know they're going on a roller coaster ride. What elements? Tell me about the twists and turns of the roller coaster ride.
Well, a lot of times people want to come in and take a class with their partner, right? Or maybe their spouse or sister, cousin, or best girlfriends. So I like to say, who's in here with your best friend? Because then what I need to do is I need to break you apart, and I need to start teaching you networking skills. So right off the back, we have a couple of icebreakers, and I start teaching you networking skills, because it's all about networking, and it's all about that 30-second elevator speech. So there was a few students, I'm not going to drop their names, but at the very beginning, had their little hoods on, their little hats on, wouldn't speak. By class number 3, they're coming out with their hand out, introducing themselves, telling you what they need within 30 seconds. You're talking about powerful. Just really taking you out of your comfort zone and letting you own what it is. No matter where you come from, that's your past. Let's start from today. You can be anything, anybody from today. Today is day 1. Let's start.
And with all nonprofit organizations, Lashay, it's the community that really brings the support to help you to be able to to provide these valuable services. And I talk a lot about the nonprofit organizations being pillars of the community, as well as the business world is also a very prominent aspect to any community. But for you, what are you actively asking for from the community? Nonprofits are always in need of things from the community so that they can continue to do their work. What are you seeking from the community to help you continue to carry this mission?
Okay. At this time, everybody knows somebody that needs a little help. When you say, wow, if this person could just learn a little bit more, or poise, or instead of saying, no problem, I teach my students don't use the word no problem. It's certainly, it's my pleasure. When you say no problem, it seems like it's a problem. What was the problem? So we start with that. So as a community, I can always use notebooks, pencils, supplies. I'm starting off, the goal is 60 students, and right now I have 32. So I do have an AM class and I have a PM class. So I need the community to reach out through their networking, tell people about the program, and let's have a successful class. Not just so much as hospitality, I'm also teaching you the fundamentals of home ownership and buying, because I am a realtor. So that is another tool that I will be offering this session. So it's just a great opportunity. So I applaud you for this program. But like I said, this is a way for me getting it out so everybody knows somebody with an organization. So if you can please support me and get the word out. Classes are less than 5 days away. And I would really like to have a great turnout, because as I teach one, they teach one. And to me, the world's just a better place.
And is the website below? Is that the best way, Lachey, for people to reach out to you, to go through Heart and Soul Hospitality, CDC.org?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Would you have a link available after this podcast?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so what
I will
be able
to share, and people can watch this on our platforms. And again, this is all this Business of Giving podcast in its video form, as well as you know, we have a radio show that we do over at KUNV as well. It really is just a feature of the Cause Marketing Chamber of Commerce that really educates the community about these so many wonderful nonprofits like yours, and businesses in the community that support these nonprofits, and the value of these relationships. As you had mentioned, you are a realtor.
Yes.
And so you have a valuable service to contribute to the community, serving people by helping people buy and sell homes. But in your free time, here you have this whole other commitment. For some people, that would be enough, right? Just running a company that helps people buy and sell real estate. But here you are, so many people in the community like you, Lachey, who go the extra mile and who want to do more to contribute to the lives of others by running nonprofit organizations. And that's what our Chamber of Commerce is all about. It's highlighting community leaders like you.
Thank you so much. I will send you a QR code after, and then that way you can attach it. So if they would like to register, you can just download the QR code and I'll have you really quick. 30 seconds.
Well, best continued luck with your nonprofit organization, Heart and Soul Hospitality, Lachey Johnson. We know that you're just going to keep giving back to your community. And again, we ask that the community continue to give back to an organization that's really helping a lot of people, giving people second chances. And that is there. I'm sure you could give me a lot of examples of second chances that you've created for people as a result of running this organization. And let's just keep doing that. Everyone deserves a second chance. I agree with you, Lachey.
I agree. I've had about 390 something students have come through the program. So I'm just very grateful. I'm grateful, and I'm grateful to the community for opening its doors and letting me use their platform.
Yeah, making a huge impact. That's a lot of lives that have been affected. And it's not just their lives either,
Yeah.
Lachey. It's
Yeah.
their children, their parents, the community itself, because you have people that are now being productive, contributing to the economy. As you had mentioned, their self-esteem is improved, which
Absolutely.
means their relationships overall are better. And I think sometimes we underestimate the value of building people and how
Yes.
that it's not just that one person that benefits when you build a person, it's their sphere, right?
Yes.
Everyone has a
Yes.
sphere of influence. And when you help people through a program like this, many, many lives are affected by it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You get it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
all right, Lachey. Well, thanks again for stopping by the Business of Giving podcast. As I had mentioned before, we have an online version of this podcast, the video version that you can watch at PR Connections, or you can go to our website, prconnectionsradio.com, to watch it as well. And we encourage you to learn more about the Cause Marketing Chamber of Commerce. We're an organization, again, that's all about highlighting people like Lachey that are benefiting the community through nonprofit organizations and business. You can visit our website, causemarketingchamber.com, to learn more about our organization and to potentially become a member. And I like to always sign off these shows by encouraging people to give and do business for good. See you on the next show.
Okay.